Because we all have the capability of doing great things. We're just quick too early. Comfort kills progression.
I got dreams on dreams, right? Counting down the minutes till I'm free, right? Back in the lab again, grab my pad and pen, back in battling. You're asking me why I seem so damn adamant. I made up my own world, kinda like a fairy tale. As soon as I penned it, it came true, kinda scary, yeah. I guess I do this very well. I guess I do this very well.
We are here connecting, networking, making friends. We're trying to get some clients possibly. And we're having a good time. We got some hors d'oeuvres, there's an open bar. No? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go talk to some people, network.
Several speakers, I don't know how many speakers, we got like 10 speakers today at Disrupt HR in Des Moines. It was very cool. What I liked going into it was my experience with HR and like performance management and that kind of thing, and then now working in a much smaller company than I was before in corporate America. A couple, like the 5-hour workday was interesting. I don't know how you would apply that to all industries, but like in this case it was like a manufacturing industry, and that makes a lot of sense, where you're working smarter and using like lean methodologies and that sort of thing to save time and gain efficiencies. I feel like that would be a lot harder to implement in the creative field. To sum it all up, it was a lot of speakers talking about HR related things, but also speakers talking about things that can relate to everything, and I guess really HR relates to everything. It's all about culture.
I didn't ask you, Jared. How was your weekend?
Look who we have in the office again.
What's up? You just can't get rid of me, Zach. Maybe you should take it as a sign.
Is it going though? It's rolling. Okay, it's rolling.
So I'm going to talk really quietly. That's not because we're in the library, because we're not in the library. We're actually in, what room is this? 02? 002 Sabin Hall on the University of Northern Iowa campus to premiere, what is it, Blood Road? Yeah. Blood Road. It's a documentary made by Red Bull Media House.
By this guy.
By this guy.
Holding down the rack. You got an appearance release there, Zach?
We don't. I am rocking what I thought an indie film director would be wearing.
Oh yeah.
Stephanie said I look homeless. I said, film director? Indie film director. Are you still rolling?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. This should be a lot of fun. Like, I'm looking forward to it. That's all I got.
Good.
At the end, when you say, this is complete, you can continue doing something, forever, and commonly people do and drive themselves crazy, and sometimes they actually make something worse because they overthink it. But only one person gets to decide that, and on this project it was me, which was both a blessing, being able to take control of it, but also it was the most emotional part at the end. So for me, that was really the hardest part, alone in an edit day at 2 in the morning saying, all right, send it off to color and mix. That's it, guys.
I'm rolling.
I thought the film was amazing.
Nah, try to do that less awkward.
No, the film was really good. I really enjoyed it. The whole thing.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part was probably just a lot of the really emotional dialogue and just letter reading and stuff like that. Her father's letters that he wrote during the war were really cool too. And I think my favorite part actually was the song that they had in there from her father. That was ridiculous, and it was really cool how they incorporated it into the film.
So last night we attended a Red Bull screening for Red Bull's new documentary that came out. It's an award-winning documentary called Blood Road. It was a phenomenal documentary and something unexpected from Red Bull. This one, there's really minimal emphasis put on who this person was as an athlete, and it was more put on her emotional story of finding who her dad was. I personally, the director of it was Nick Shrunk, and I personally went to school with him, and it was very exciting for me to see a documentary that had this type of impact and this type of story produced by someone that I knew the last couple years of being at UNI. It's incredible to know that someone I graduated with is making such a big impact in the filmmaking world. It's really inspired me to kind of get back to what I really enjoyed about filmmaking, and that was the documentary storytelling side. So I have some ideas brewing around in my head, and I have to talk with the team about it and see what they think. But once we get that figured out, maybe there's some new information I can tell y'all. So we are here at Hawkeye today. We're shooting a bunch of VR content for a VR experience that we're creating for the campus to kind of show off the different aspects of campus that are attractive to prospective students. So far we've hit about 3 different buildings and got a bunch of high fives out in the courtyard as class change was going on. We're now here in the student center about to get some stuff from the cafeteria and kind of the hangout areas. And after that, we just have a couple more things, including a intramural basketball scene. So that's gonna be pretty cool. We just finished up day 2 of shooting at Hawkeye Community College for the VR tour that we're kind of putting together for them to create a VR experience of what it's like to walk around campus. Day 1, we shot a bunch of aerial stuff, which I think you saw in a previous vlog. Today was a lot of interior stuff on Lacey, and tomorrow we have one more shoot where we need to pick up a couple shots, but other than that, we should have all the content we need except for the voiceover. So a situation happened today where it was kind of an example of how important it is to just follow up with emails and follow up with a client that you've been talking to.
It's way too windy.
We're gonna shut the window there. But anyway, I followed up with a potential client that I had sent a quote to. Hadn't heard back for a couple weeks. I sent him an email just following up to see if they had any questions that came up while they're discussing the quote. And I haven't heard back from him, but I heard back from someone else within the organization asking about a different project. So I don't know what happened on their side, but my guess is he brought it up to the rest of the committee or the crew that they're working with, and a different project has came up since I sent that quote. And they're now asking us for a quote on a different project. It's just one of those things that shows how important it is to make sure that when you're communicating with clients, even before you get the job, making sure you follow up with them and kind of see how things are going, see if there's any questions is really important. It's something I don't think a lot of people do, or enough people for that matter, and it can always turn into a new project if you do that one simple little step. It was literally an email that took me 30 seconds to write.
Videos,
Sure.
Specifically towards animation and graphics.
Yes.
Just so we make sure we're on the same page and we're not leaving anything up to really interpretation or kind of confusing you guys on your end.